On today's edition of The Front Row, we are in Levelland, Texas at the Wallace Theater, and our special guest is the executive director of the theater, Alycyn Keeling. Alycyn, welcome back to The Front Row.
Thank you so much, Clint.
You know, I've been here several times, but every time I come, I'm impressed all over again that this theater, which had fallen into disrepair and had kind of fallen off people's radar, you have single-handedly almost completely refurbished it, remodeled it, put it back with all of the fixtures and lighting and staging, and made it into a marvelous venue.
Thank you.
And it's just so impressive.
Well, thank you so much. And you were very kind. But let me tell you, there were over 1,300 individuals, businesses, foundations that have supported this project. Hundreds of volunteers, construction crews, sound and tech folks, campers who've come to our theater camps, all of the people who attended our early programming that really built the Wallace to what it is today. I just get the honor of being the figurehead some days.
Well, and that makes a lot of sense. For a theater, it takes a community.
It does.
Yeah.
And that's what's so special about this. You know, really, when you look around at this space, when you look at the programming that's on our marquee and what's coming up, every bit of it is a testament to people believing in a vision and believing in a dream and doing the work that it takes to make it happen. And I just think, how often do we really get to look around and see a real life example of a dream come true? And that is every bit of what this theater is.
I could totally get that. I totally see that. It's true. And having been to some events here, it's just been terrific. You've had musical events that were world class. You had the singing cadets from Texas A&M University. I really enjoyed that concert. And you've had intellectual events, and you have room up here for board meetings, for businesses to do things. You've really exploited the possibilities of what a venue like this can do. Congratulations.
Thank you. We're very proud of all the programming we've had. Something new also that we have just started is a program called First Tuesdays, and they are free community events. We had our first one earlier this week. It was a book bedazzling class, but it was just really wonderful for people to come and share doing something creative and in the arts that they enjoy, also getting to share about their favorite books and have community with one another. We're going to have a different topic every month. Next month in May is going to be a community show and tell. You know, think about going to elementary school. Show and tell was, one of your favorite days,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
So it's going to be really exciting to have people come and get to learn about one another's hobbies. And we'll be doing more and more of these things throughout the year, all different topics, and we're going to be looking for the community to say, hey, I'd love to be a part of the First Tuesday. I love to do this thing, and I want to share it with others. And so we're very excited about that aspect as well.
Well, you have another event that's coming up this weekend, I think. Is that right?
Yes.
This weekend. And
on Friday night, actually.
Friday night. And it's part of this comprehensive thing you have about bringing world-class people and of various types. And in this case, it's a very famous person who has a lot of firsts in her life. Her name is Templ Grandin.
Yes.
That's going to be a very familiar name to a lot of people, although people may not know exactly what that's all about. So tell us a little bit about Templ Grandin.
So Templ Grandin is a world-renowned scientist. She's a best-selling author, and she is an autism advocate. She's very inspiring to get to know her story. I actually first learned of her from a movie that came out, I think, around 2010.
Right.
And, I think Claire Danes was in it, and I remember watching the movie, and what's special to me about that memory, the Wallace Theater wasn't even on my radar at the time. I mean, my dad was working on it at the time, but I had never thought about having that connection. But I was fascinated by her story, the challenges that she overcame, the way that she thinks and sees things, and what she did for the agriculture and ranching industry, and the transformation she's helped make there. And so last year when I was working to fill out our season, I just about had everything done, and I got an email from the Brontex Theater down in New Braunfels that they were going to be bringing in Templ Grandin and wanted to see if anyone wanted to collaborate in terms of routing and bringing her to Texas. I emailed right off the bat. I was so excited because I knew that her presentation would be something that a lot of folks in West Texas would enjoy learning about and could also resonate with. You know, through our theater arts programs, we've had lots of students that we work with that do deal with autism and have that challenge in life, and so getting to see and hear from someone like Templ and how she has overcome the challenges, I think that's going to be very inspiring to many folks. And then also just being in a farming and ranching community. You know, her work there is very inspiring. Her presentation is going to share and touch on a little of those topics, but it's also going to be about encouraging different types of thinkers. And, you know, we all think in different ways, and how do we capitalize on that, and how do we utilize that to make a difference in the world? I think that's going to be part of her message as well.
Right. Well, I think this is just an inspired thing. And you touched on a couple of things that I did have questions about, one of which was, what is she going to talk about?
Yes,
Because there's lots of things. So I'm glad that she's going to talk about not only her profession, but also her perception of her profession. Mm-hmm. And I think that's great. And about her own story. And like you, I saw the movie. And so that really caught my imagination. And the other thing that you talked about was working with another theater because of routing. And I'm not sure that everybody realizes that when somebody is on a national tour, you have to work in such a way that they can get to the place that you want and then get to the next place and come from someplace. That's something that you all have to work out, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we're very fortunate to be part of a group called the Southwest Performing Arts Presenters. And it's theaters all across Texas, Oklahoma, Louisiana, and Arkansas, and we've got some connections in New Mexico as well. So that's a great place of where I have started in terms of booking. There may be acts that I'm very interested in, so we have an email listserv, and you can send something out and see if anybody else in the group has had experience working with that group, and also if they're interested in bringing them. And for a small theater like us, and especially in West Texas, we are not the easiest place to get to on the map. So that routing is very important in working with other theaters for us to be able to bring the types of performances we brought this year.
Right, exactly. Well, what else about Templ Grandin being here Friday evening at the Wallace Theater?
So one of the things that's going to be very special, Templ's team has told me that she really enjoys getting to interact with her audience. So actually, before and after the show, or before and after her presentation, she will be selling a variety of her books, and she will be available to sign those for folks. So if you've actually ever read any of her books or are interested in those will be available for purchase. And she will also be taking questions from the audience at the end of her performance.
Okay, excellent. So now people are like, oh my gosh, I've got to go see this. So how do people take care of that?
The best way for people to come and see the show, we only have about 15 tickets left. Actually, one of our box seats just opened up. That's a very special experience to see. So if you're listening to this interview, hop on and get those box seats. That's going to be a great vantage point. But go to our website, www.wallacetheater.com, and there's an events tab there, and that's where you can go and get your tickets.
Excellent. For Friday night, Templ Grandin at the Wallace Theater here at Levelland. Our special guest on the program today, Alycyn Keeling. Alycyn, thank you so much, and I hope I'll be back soon for yet another event, right?
I hope so too. Thanks so much.